Hey, it's BT. Hey, where am I? Yeah. Hey, listen, man. First of all, give props to England, Silverstone, Great Britain, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. No longer in Brexit. Whatever you guys want to call yourself. What a great GP. Maybe the greatest GP ever. Ever. A lot of people are saying maybe Phillip Island, but man, oh my God. Thank you for the shitty weather, England, because that GP was off the chain. And you know what? And thumbs down to F1 because F1 was in Monza, and that's why GP started late. Which, if you're in the United States like I am on the East Coast, which means that the race came on later. So I was like doing this, trying to stay awake, and I'm drinking. I don't even drink Red Bulls anymore. But I had to drink Red Bulls and a lot of energy drinks and cocaine. No cocaine. But I had to do a lot of stuff to stay awake, and it was just So thumbs down to F1 for making me stay up late so I could watch the MotoGP. But man, was it worth it? So let's get right to it. And I am going to do a disservice right now. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to do a disservice to Moto 3. It was great racing as always. Brad Binder. He's like rain in England. You know he's coming, and he's a constant. And that's all I got to say. I mean, he's always there. That's why he's going to be the champion. Man, Navarro, you got to give it to Navarro. I'm going to call him Jorge No Smiles Navarro. That kid, he looks too serious to be a kid. I mean, even Fabio Q, he's always smiling, even though he's not having the career he's supposed to have, and he's had crashes and the bike messes up on him. He's still a happy-go-lucky kid. Navarro just look like he's he's too serious. Inside the helmet, he's like this, just like I don't even want to say hi to that kid. He looks too serious. Anyway, so props to him for going for it, man. I feel so bad for him crashing. I really did. But man, props to Brad Binder doing what he had to do the damn thing. I'm telling you, Pekka Bagnaia, keep watching him. If something happens to Brad Binder, knock on wood that it doesn't. But if something happens, I wouldn't be surprised if Bagnaia makes a final charge in these last 4 or 5 races, man, and brings it closer. But I just can't see it. Brad Binder's the man. Props to Bo Bensnatter from the Netherlands. That kid. What, I mean, he was penalized, with it 6 grid spots? He was penalized, and he still got a podium. Watch him for next year. He's coming into his own. The kid's great. But, he's with Red Bull Racing, so, I mean, of course he's going to be good, but still, props to that. By the way, how tall is that kid? He's like 6'2", something like that. All the rest of them look like midgets compared to him. He looks like he's in a circus, and Brad Binder is like a prop he puts like a little doll. That's what it looks like. Anyway, so props to Brad Binder. Brad Binder's going to take it, but props to Bagnaia and Bo Bensnatter. Let's go to Moto 2. Look at my face. Moto 2. What a great race Moto 2 was. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Zarco the whole way. No, actually, I thought it was going to be Lowe's the whole way. I thought Lowe's was going to just dominate. Anyway, what a great race. Props to Tom Luthi. What Luthi, especially after being down, I feel so bad for him. What happened to the race in Bruno? He had to be stretchered off. I felt bad for him. He couldn't. His head was all loopity loop. What he did was incredible. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying right now. I don't care how you feel. I shed a little tear, man, for Luthi. That race was emotional. Moto 2 almost stole the show. Moto 2, as good as Moto 3 was, Moto 2 was really good. It was like you ever get garlic bread before you get the spaghetti or the pizza, and you go, oh my God, this garlic bread is delicious. That garlic bread was almost as good as the pizza. I mean, it was really good. I felt the Saradine, he almost got that podium. He was I don't know if he was praying or crying. That was an emotional race. Props to Franco Morbidelli. He's as close as you're going to come to a black guy winning a race in MotoGP. It really is. He's half Brazilian, half Italian, and you mix those two together, and you got like a really light chocolate milk, and it's like seeing a black guy win. So good for him. He got a podium, and I was like. Anyway, so I'm glad he got a podium. He raced hard. I felt for Alex Marquez. I felt he was finally doing something. He was coming along, and then, damn. So, but we know what we're going to talk about. We know what we're going to talk about. Sam Lowe's getting taken out by Zarco. It wasn't on purpose. But, man, Zarco hit those rubble, and he just kept going. And he just kept going, and Lowe's was like, "Hey man, you know we're going off the circuit." And then he dropped him off. Basically, he dropped him off like he's dropping him off for school, like a bus driver, and said, "Okay, I gotta go." And he left, and I felt so bad for Lowe's, man. But Lowe's turned in with the fastest lap on the last lap. Oh, he was pissy. Honestly, if it was NASCAR and this was the United States, they would have it out behind the paddock. I mean, that's how Americans are, and that's how NASCAR is. And the cameras wouldn't be around, and they have a little go. I mean, I felt it was a racing incident. He just went in hot. He cooked it hot, and that's what he did. It wasn't on purpose, but still, and he was going for it. But still, I mean, he took out somebody. So at first, I was like, I don't know about a 30-second a 30-second penalty, but I thought that was a little bit harsh. But I mean, he took out Sam Lowe. So at first, I was like, but I guess I guess it had to be done, and they responded quick. I think they respond before the race was over. That's the quickest I've ever seen race direction. I mean, that was quick. It was like bam, bam, and bam. I mean, that was really good. So props to race direction for giving him a 30-second penalty. I don't know if I agree with it, but he took him out. And props to Alex. Remember I said Alex Rins was like, he never had any battles. He never got dirty. Well, he came from 21st and ended up getting 8th. He was only like a place behind Zarco, 2 places behind Zarco, and he's only 10 points behind in the stand. It's getting so good. Moto 2 is getting good. Just last week, I was like, this is me last week, Moto 2. But this week, great race, Moto 2. Props to Luthi. Like I said, I shed a tear. I don't care if you laugh at me, call me a little sissy boy. I don't give a damn. I felt for the dude. I'm glad he's all right. I'm glad he won the race. Props to Morbidelli. Props to Sam Lowe's for coming back. Didn't hang his head. He came back. Just props to everybody for a great race, man. It really was. Moto 2 almost stole the show. But you know what stole the show? MotoGP. Damn, what those guys did. Let me tell you something. First of all, I called it. I don't want to say I called it. I'm in the MotoGP league. And I picked Maverick Vinales to win because he's great in the cold. And England, no offense to you guys have shitty weather, and it's always cold from what I hear. Never been there from what I hear, but it was shitty weather. And I said Maverick's going to do well. And it wasn't any rain. It was cold. It was a little, cold, kind of freezing. Not really freezing, but it was cold. And Maverick did the damn thing. He took off and was not to be. He didn't come close. Maverick can race, but he didn't even have to race. He took off. And what I couldn't believe was Marquez had the wrong tire choice. I watched the tire choice. I go, why is he going with a soft? Why everybody else said hard? He had the soft. I don't know why he did. Is it just me? I kind of think Marquez's team, as hard as they try, I kind of think they're failing him in a little bit. In a way, I think Honda's kind of failing Marquez in a little bit. Last week and this week, it's like, really? Everybody else went hard and he went with a soft. I don't know if it's his decision, but anyway. But even on a bad tire choice, look what he did. Say what you want about Marquez. That kid, he's the straw that stirs the drink. I was watching the race like this. Like, you ever eat like a hot pizza, right? And it's too hot and you go, and you got to switch from each side of the mouth, right? That's how I watched the race. When he was with Rossi, I was like, and he was with Crutchlow, I was like, And every time I was just doing this, and I was like trying not to wake up my roommate. And I was like, and Marquez makes things. I mean, you could tell in his helmet that, when you look at that new gyroscopic camera and you see Marquez coming, man, it's like a horror movie. You see this showy helmet coming up like this, and you're going, oh God, I know he's back there. I know he's back there. And what he and Rossi did, oh my, was that not the greatest duel ever? And Nick Harris was saying how Marquez, basically it was like a fight. He picked a fight with 2 guys and he came away with a bloody nose. I beg to differ. He and Rossi went at it, and I kind of think he got the best of him because he gapped Rossi, and then he and Crutchlow went at it. And the only reason, no offense to Crutchlow, I felt that the only Crutchlow beat him was because he cooked it in hot in that turn. But Crutchlow, don't get me wrong, Crutchlow rode a great race. How great! Nobody has better confidence right now, other than a heavyset woman in a nightclub at closing time, than Carl Crutchlow. Man, that guy is going with some confidence. In the last 3 or 4 races, starting with Germany, and I was in Germany, so I think it was because of me. But it's starting in Germany, and then Austria, and what he's done, his confidence is high. He and Danny should switch. I think Pedrosa should go to LCR, and Crutchlow should go to Repsol for the rest of the year. And Danny has to babysit Willow on his off days. I mean, I think if you're a factory rider, you get to call that, and I think that's what he should do. Anyway, I thought it was the best GP of the year. That's saying something. This year is the greatest MotoGP has ever had, and that's saying something. I thought last year was great. This year's great. How about Rossi for staying with it, and he took a couple points away from Marquez. And let me tell you something. The old Marquez came back. We talk about the new Marquez and saving himself and getting the points. The old Marquez came back in this race. You saw it in the way he rode. It's like if he hadn't won in a while, I think it's nagging at him that he hasn't won, and it's like he's like, I gotta win, and he's a winner, man, and getting placed in podiums, that's nice, but he wants to win, and you saw that today. What a great race. MotoGP, we should give a standing ovation to those guys. Great race. Props, man, so much props to Maverick Vinales. I'm telling you, in the years to come, Vinales and Marquez will stage battles that we've never seen before. He and Iannone, Crazy Joe, say what you want, and the video of Crazy Joe breaking into his own Porsche. How funny was that? Because he locked his keys in the car. You think Porsche, you could call Porsche and they could, but it couldn't. He had to break the. If you didn't see the video, YouTube it. Iannone's breaking into his own Porsche to get the keys out because he's 100 kilometers away from home and he couldn't get inside his car and he had to go home. Anyway, great GP. The whole time I was like, I wanted to go, Mark, just give it up, Mark. I mean, honestly, I don't think my heart could take it. I was like, Mark, it's not worth it, man. Just let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go. And he and Rossi touched, and man, I'm telling you, that GP was the greatest GP ever. I got to get ready for a show, but I just want to put this together right now. I couldn't wait. So anyway, great GP, one of the greatest GPs ever. I can't wait for next week in Italy. It's going to be so damn good. Anyway, that's all for this week. It went longer than I wanted to, as always, but I don't even care, man. I just got through riding 3 hours to come up here and do a gig, and I'm still geeked about the race. I'm so happy for Maverick. Maverick next year, going for the championship, I'm telling you right now. He and Marquez will stage great battles, and Rossi still ain't done. This is a great year, and yeah, it's just a great race. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Until then, peace.